And hello and welcome to episode 44 of the GrowCast Show. And today with me, I have Noel Peter Xavier. He is an author, he's a motivational speaker, and he is someone that will wow all of you. Noel, how are you feeling today?
I'm feeling great. Thank you so much.
Very nice, Noel. So, Noel, my first question, which I think very, very relevant to you, is what does being better than normal mean to you?
All right, when two senior doctors diagnosed me that I will never, after this massive major surgery to diffuse the clot, I'll never be able to walk and talk again. Beyond all odds, today I'm not only talking, but I'm trying to be a budding inspirational speaker. I still walk with a walking aid, short distance or long distance, you just name it. So that is for me better than normal.
Very nice. And Noel, what makes you better than normal?
Okay, it's a very, very, very nice question. I could not even stand and walk. Whenever I stand up beside the hospital bed, I collapse. And I'm always slanting. My face used to be slanted. I drool. And when people come and visit me in the hospital, they start to take the tissue paper and wipe my saliva out. So now today, I have actually conquered myself, not only to walk short distance, to be employed, and also to take on challenges in life.
Okay, very nice. So, Noel, that's amazing. I mean, you are totally better than normal for sure. But I know you told me this story, which I want everybody to know. Tell us about the valley of death that you saw while you were having your surgery.
Okay, great. What happened was during the surgery, I was actually floating on water, traveling through a very dark tunnel. On the right and left is a tunnel, very pitch dark. And then during the end of the tunnel, I actually saw a hole where water was gushing into it. And subconscious mind told me that I'm next. I saw three dark figurines enter the hole. And subconscious mind told me that I am the next one to enter, but I didn't want to enter the hole as I gripped onto the rim. And there was a lady in white that was in front of me. She was calling my name. As I was traveling through the hole, she called me first Noel, second time Noel, and third time she screamed, Noel. That's where I got shocked. And when I opened my eyes, the water was actually gushing to my nose and my mouth. I saw my neurosurgeon taking out his mask, and his palm was on my chest, telling me that, look, Noel, I've completed your surgery. You're not going anywhere. You're hanging there.
That's a beautiful story. And I know, Noel, you also have a titanium skull, right? Can you tell us a bit more about the titanium skull? Can you just point it there when you tell me the story, because it's amazing? Can you tell me a bit more? How did you end up, Noel, with the titanium skull, and where is the titanium skull?
Okay, on the right hemisphere of my brains, right here. Okay, what happened was during the massive major surgery, neurosurgeons had to crack out my skull to diffuse the clot. And then 9 months later, when I had to go and see my neurosurgeon, he told me that right now, I do not have a skull on my head and nothing is covering my brains. So if I were to be wheeled, even outside the HDB block, and if someone drops a pin, it's going to damage my brains. So he actually told me that he has to come up with a fake skull. I didn't know that it's going to be a titanium skull. So eventually, I'm having a titanium skull right now. And they made a titanium skull for me to protect my brains.
And Noel, how old are you right now?
I'm 52.
Okay, and if you could describe your life, if you could describe your 52 years of your life in one word or two words, right? What would those one or two words be?
It's the book title of mine, Zero to Hero. In short, I was one of the happiest men alive, or growing up, I should say, a student. And during my working life, I was a party animal. Never see a die attitude in partying.
Anything else?
And when there's clubs that's about to open, we will actually Google and find out which is the latest clubs we're going to attend, the inauguration of the brand new clubs in Singapore.
Very nice. And also, I know you were in the Air Force, right? So how was your life as a simulator fighter pilot in the Air Force?
Oh, I was actually super fit. After work, we got to put on the PT kit and then go and run 2.4 kilometers with real life pilots. We were super fit, never say die attitude. We had to train real life pilots, to clock their simulator hours before they do the actual flight in the air. So they became very close to me. After work, they normally invite me to go dance, to go party with them, so that during simulator hours, we could give them a pass, even though if they make slight mistake. But that was not my style. I was rather strict with them, and I guess they loved the discipline that I had. So to actually hone their skills in flying, rather proud. I was rather proud in the Air Force. It taught me lots how to be a better man, better than normal, I should say that. Okay, I joined the Air Force at the age of 20, and I actually was given a full-time service. I didn't want to keep to wear the uniform lifelong, so I didn't want to retire in the Air Force, so I did not accept the full-time retirement service, and I finished my contract about 10 years later, and I became a civilian.
Okay. And did you have any clue in your 30s that your 40s you will be partially disabled?
No, not in my wildest dreams. I had any clue. I have any clue that I will become partial disabled, in fact disabled. A blood clot in my brains. Never dreamt about it in my wildest dreams.
So is it possible that a normal person right now could be having a blood clot in their brain but they don't know about it?
Indeed, yes. That's why I ask every friend of mine, everyone that I know, go for your medical checkup thoroughly and do it occasionally or do it once every 6 months whenever your doctor requests you to go do a blood test. If your blood pressure is not right, please go and do something and prevent all these extra uncalled damages to your body.
Very nice. And also, Noel, can you tell us about the fateful day, about your incident that made you disabled, where you had a 5% survival chance, but you survived?
Sure. Let me recall it. On the year 2013, 13 of May, I was invited to Little Thailand. It's for a Songkla festival. One of the pilots, he married a Thai wife, and he invited me for this Songkla whereby you splash water on each other. So we had a party, and we ended up at about coming to 3 o'clock. I can just remember. So all of them left the place, and I was walking towards the taxi stand when suddenly my left arm started to shiver, started to jerk by itself, and I didn't have any control on it. So as it was shivering, and I had a strong excruciating pain in my right hemisphere of my brains. I thought because of the sunlight, I was just having headache. So I actually called a passerby, giving some money to get me some Panadol in 7-Eleven. So as he went, what happened was I felt nauseated. I wanted to throw out. So when I threw out on the walkway, I saw it was green in color. Something very subconscious mind says something very abnormal is going to happen to me. And after nauseating, I just sat on the floor, on the parapet, and I collapsed. And some kind soul called an ambulance on me. They rushed me, neurosurgeon says, they rushed me to Singapore General Hospital, whereby the doctors thought that I was having a mild heart attack, but they couldn't find any blockage in my arteries. So the professors down there requested for me to the other doctor to perform an brain MRI on me, which they found a size of a golf ball awaiting to erupt. Never in my wildest dreams, again, I say that I would ever dream that there's something called size of a golf ball in the neurological nerves. So had it erupt, I would actually bleed in my eyes, my nose, and my mouth, and I never be here today. So doctors performed an emergency operation. To what I know, they tried to bore, the first operation, they bore a hole in my head to try diffuse the clot, and they tried drips on me. But my clot refused to be diffused. So next day, what happened is it grew up again. It kept growing, and they called, the hospital staff call up my parents to ask them to come to GH to sign a green form whereby I was only given 5% chance of survival during the surgery, and should I survive, I'll be paralyzed, disabled for life. So taking the risks, my dad signed the form and they performed the surgery on me. I was in a very long time in comatose. And when I came out, I didn't know that my left limbs of my body was actually immovable, and it was no sensation in it. So when I tried to move from the hospital bed, my hands and legs just droop off. And no one told me that I'm partial paralyzed. Only one Sunday, there was a rehab lady who was a bit elderly. She told me, "No, look here, boy." From now, she called me boy. From now on, you should not be moving yourself without carrying your arms. So what I did, my arms from then on, my left limb was my baby. So I had to hold my leg and hold my arm and toss myself if I should want to turn on the hospital bed.
So currently, as of right now, is your left hand still your baby?
I've actually improved a lot. There is lots of sensation in it, but I should say it's my adopted baby now because I still have it with me. They did not chop it off. So I'm thankful, grateful. It moves. I can feel it. There is sensation, but I'm still working on it to get it. I want to carry things again, going for therapies, doing therapies on my own at home. So working on it again.
Very nice. And I know you also, the doctors wrote DIL at the behind of your bed, right?
Yes.
So what is the meaning of DIL?
Okay, DIL CIL is that the definition of dying in lieu. And what my mom told me, there were 6 patients in the neurosurgery ICU ward. And all the 5 patients passed away. There's only one patient that survived, which is me. Then only I realized that this is not it's a minor surgery, but a massive major surgery, whereby the entire skull on my head was removed. And after 9 months, it had to be replaced by a titanium skull. So in process of the surgery, I actually lost my limbs and I lost my speech. My memory too. I couldn't read time. I couldn't count. I could count 1 to 10, but 10 to 1. Halfway through, I don't know how to count. I actually had to learn and relearn again. I had to take up courses. When I go to the toilet to even pee, I can stand there for 15 minutes, but nothing comes out. So only then I realized during the surgery, most of the neurological nerves got snipped off.
And Noel, how long were you hospitalized for?
All in all, including the rehab hospital, it's about 8 months. To what I recollect, 8 months. Most of us meet our wife in a park, in movies, maybe in churches or weddings. But I met my wife in a hospital. I started dating my wife. I met her in a hospital. She was the one that was treating me.
Tell me more about how you got to know your wife in the hospital.
Okay, I was actually in long comatose. When I regained conscious, I was sent to this particular hospital, whereby when I became fully conscious, I saw this woman wearing white, and she's all white. And something told me that we have met before. So whenever she comes to take my perimetals, I ask her, have we met? She says, no. She tells me you're having TBI. So I was thinking, I came here for brain surgery. Why TB now? So when I asked her what's the definition of TB, I told her brain injury. I'm hallucinating. So I know deep in my heart, I'm never hallucinating. This love has been planted by the man above to meet my future wife. And she bore me a beautiful son. We are living as a family right now. Grateful to her.
Very nice. And I know when you were hospitalized, the first 5 months was the most hardest, right? Tell me about your disability in the first 5 months.
Okay, I could not even sit like I'm sitting right now. I always slant. My jaw is sideways and I'm drooling. And one eye, I don't know one eyeball, I don't know where it goes. And one in Singapore. And I was on Pampers. Whenever they asked me, the male nurses asked me to stand beside my bed, I could not even stand. I fall because I'm out of balance. And they will have 2 nurses, male nurses, come lift me up and put me back on the bed. So in hospital, it wasn't easy at all, because whenever you want to pee, you got to bring the bell, you got to ask for a urinal, and you want to pass motion, you got to wear a Pampers. And there was once, I remember, I wanted to go to the loo, and the nurses were very busy. So this male nurse came to me, he asked me a question, am I wearing a Pampers? So I gave him the wrong answer. I said yes. So he pat me, said, so do it in your Pampers. So I was actually mesmerized. I was thinking, OMG, I'm 40. You want me to do? I'm not 4 years old to do it in a Pampers, which I tried it. It's super uncomfortable. So I realized, being at that age, that older person, and doing your business in a Pampers, this is how a baby feels. And this is how an adult feels. So it wasn't easy at all. It was a challenge for me to pick up again. As I paid a lot of attention to occupational therapy and speech therapy, I had to learn and relearn every single moment in life. And I came about through that way.
And tell me a bit more, Noel. I mean, even though you were wearing a Pampers at the age of 40, right? I know that you overcame a lot, right? You overcome a lot. So tell us about how you use the power of visualization, right? To start walking and start talking.
Okay, I literally wanted the nurses to recline me on the sitting position, whereby every time the patient's relatives come visit, they walk into the ward, I will actually look at their footsteps. And when they start talking, I look at their mouth. How they pronounce, I hear all that words, and I visualize myself actually walking the way they walk. First step after the next step, front leg and back leg, step by step. And during this process, literally, I had the feeling of walking again. And whenever they are talking, the speech, what I did was I looked at their mouth. How do they pronounce, the tonality? And I tried practicing with the occupational speech therapist. And this is how I came about visualization to walking and talking right again.
That's very beautiful. And am I correct to say, Noel, that at one point in time, you would say, you're partially disabled, but at one point in time, you were fully disabled. Am I correct?
That is correct.
So what advice, Noel, would you have for somebody, right, who is currently fully disabled, who is going through therapy, right? Somebody who's been there, somebody who's done that like you, right? Sure. What advice would you have for somebody who is currently going through a disability?
Great question. Okay. We believe in HOPE, holding on to positive emotions. When going into a thunderstorm, be ready to ride on the rainbow. That because there is always something where you will. In fact, there is nothing as you cannot. You go for aggressive therapies and then follow ups with the doctors and do it at home too. Practice your therapies at home base, and one day you'll be ready to ride on the rainbow.
Very nicely said. I love that. And I know you mentioned just now a little bit about your wife and your son, right? Tell us a bit more about your son and his current condition.
Okay, when my son turned 5 years old, we brought him to a new pediatrician. They diagnosed him with severe autism. And it was also a challenge for me as he couldn't talk. He was non-verbal. He could not talk. He was non-verbal. And I told myself I'm going to hold his hands and walk through together with him in this path to road to recovery or road to improvement for speech.
Tell me more. How do you feel when you found out that your son was being diagnosed with severe autism?
Okay, initially I felt depressed. Then when I used myself as a pillar for him, the experiences that I went through, so I told myself I'm going to work hard with him, never give up hope, holding on to positive emotions again. And this time I'm going to hold his hands through, whether in school, whether in therapies. I'm going to go through with him. As his dad has gone through it, so I'm going to be his pillars right all the way till he gets to a conventional school. Both are actually different cases. Mine, I'm a grown-up, and I've been through on the same path as I'm going to look into him. Both are special needs people in a family. So as for me, I went through it, and I'm going to apply whatever he requires using my experience. So that is my aim for him in life, for him to be independent, so that he would be able to live his life when I'm old, immobile.
Very nice. And I know that your wife takes care of both of you, and then she's also working as well. Am I correct?
Yes.
Currently? So currently, how does your wife feel when she has to take care of both you and your son's condition?
Okay, what I do is whatever I can do at home, when my sons require it, I go help. So I'll be an assistant to my wife. I go help, like changing pampers in one hand. It's not easy, but I learned it. And then like bring him to the toilet, playing water, blowing balloons for him at home, just to cheer him up, so my wife can relax after work. So I'm trying to play a good husband and a good dad too for the family.
Very nice, and I'm sure you're doing a wonderful job as well.
you.
And I know also, Noel, you wrote this amazing book with a nice title, which is Zero to Hero: Rising Again from Deaf and Disability. Can you tell us what inspired you to write the book Zero to Hero?
Okay, initially in life, when I see people, when they come visit me, I actually branded myself as Zero. So there's a silent voice in my ears telling me that I would like to use my story to inspire the masses, not in Singapore, but internationally too. So what I did was I kept on writing point by point. This idea strangely comes to me at 2:30 in the morning, 2:30 a.m. in the morning. And what I do is I have my pen and my notepad on the dining table. I hop literally from my bed, I hop to the hall and I write all this point form, and slowly, eventually, I built up a book. I elaborated on it. I built up a book using my life experiences.
And why should people read your book Zero to Hero, and who is it especially for?
Okay, this is especially for people who are emotionally depressed and disabled people. I should say that every chapter of this book has an inspiring story, has an impact. Hopefully, it will have an impact on my readers. If you have stroke, I have some home therapy for stroke, some lessons in my book, which you really want to do it if you are diagnosed as a stroke victim. And I inspire people by getting up, picking themselves, using their shoes and going out for a walk, either on a motorized scooter or even using a walking stick. The never say die attitude. And it's all mind over matter. So what I learned from the Air Force is mind over matter, and I've penned it out very nicely in sequented form. There are phases, there are steps for you to define what's mind over matter in life. I would like masses to have this never say die attitude again. And I always mention hope, holding on to positive emotions. When you're in the thunderstorm, never give up. Be ready to ride on the rainbow. There's always when one door closes, there will be another door to be opened up soon. You have patience and it will be there for you. This is coming from an experienced man. Again, I say 2 doctors diagnosed me that I'll be never be able to walk and talk again. But today, I'm rattling with you, Vicky. And I'm also walking short distances. So never give up hope. In this century, I see many people down and out in life. Work issues, family issues, girlfriend, boyfriend issues, medical issues. So I want to inspire these people that even in fact having all these issues in life, which I had, no family issues but medical issues, there is another tomorrow. There's an impact in life. Go for it. Use the Nike slogan. Just do it. Just do it in life, and it'll be euphoric. It will cause euphoria in your life, and go for it. Do it. Just do it. Attitude. Always see the glass as half full, not half empty. Positive in life. Create the positiveness in life. Every time look at the glass, it's half full and not half empty. So at least you have conquered your emotionally wise. You have conquered half of your goals. The other half will be a bit of hard work. The never say die attitude.
Very nice. And I also know, Noel, that you came out in the Sunday Times, or was it the Straits Times? I think you came out in the Straits Times, right? So I know, Noel, you came out in the Straits Times very recently as well. Can you tell us a bit more about this article that the Straits Times did on you, and what does it talk about?
Okay, sure. One of the reporters from Sunday Straits Times, they actually call me up to interview me, and I agreed upon because it tells the masses about my life story, and it's also going to impact. It's an inspirational story for the masses who read this, for my readers, and also to await for my book to be launched, entitled Zero to Hero. So this actually interview was to give the budding readers, that's a Singaporean author that's coming up with a new book, and ultimately I wanted to prove to the masses that it is possible. Nothing is impossible in life.
So it says over here that you had hemorrhage stroke. Am I correct?
Right.
So we know that over here in the article, I can see that stroke is Singapore's fourth leading cause of death, and it accounts for 6.8% of deaths each year. How do you feel having survived the hemorrhage stroke?
I really feel that I'm lucky, because they already told me I had 5% chances of survival rate, and I feel this emotionally, I should say, challenge to inspire the masses using my life story. There is something beyond stroke and stroke recovery. So I feel that it is my duty to tell the stroke patients it is possible. Nothing is impossible again, and I want to emphasize mind over matter, which I've learned it in the Air Force.
Very nice. And I also know that you had this, if you're comfortable sharing, telling us about the story where your helper saw you, and she told you about when you were at your parapet, right? I remember you told me this story. Can you tell us about the time when you wanted to commit suicide?
Right. Okay, sure. There was one day that I had to go walking outside the corridor with my helper, and then I actually was a high flyer in the Air Force, a super fit, and then I actually crash landed all the way in front of my coffin. So I told myself, no, not worth living anymore. I wanted to use my right limb, which I still have power in it, to climb over the parapet and end my life. So right behind me, I didn't know my helper was right behind me. So she shouted at me. She told me, "Noel, what are you doing? You're very selfish. When you jump, you know what's going to happen to your son, your 3-year-old son. He's not going to have a dad. So you should be thinking about your family, not yourself." Then I realized a lot of question marks in my mind. I said, yes, I'm doing injustice not only to my son, to my wife, to my entire family. So that idea I deleted from my mind, from my thoughts, and I have actually changed it to inspiring the masses. I've overcome it to being an inspirer to the masses.
And I think, Noel, you are obviously a great example, even though the thought did cross your mind, but you didn't actually do it, right? So there have been actually 476 suicides reported in Singapore in 2022, according to stats. So what advice would you have for somebody who is going through a bad time and for who suicide has even crossed their mind?
Suicidal thoughts should be deleted from your mind, because there's always another tomorrow. Like I always say, if you're going through a bad weather, a thunderstorm, be ready to ride on the rainbow. And you got to think of your family around you. You're the people that really want you to be around. Your first thoughts should be them. If you have children, you have wife, once you're off this earth, there's no more you, and they can't feel you anymore. They can't call your name. So do not bring misery to them. Bring joy to them. Have that thoughts that they can do spirit. Again, I say the Nike slogan: you can do and you will do it. Just do it. Live your life, and you will become a much better person.
Very nicely said. And tell us a bit more also. I know you have a NLP certificate, right? So why did you decide, Noel, to become NLP certified? So NLP obviously stands, for those who do not know, is neuro-linguistic programming. Right. So why did you decide to get yourself a neuro-linguistic programming certificate?
Okay, great. See, when I was wondering, when they did a surgery on my brains because of the blood clot, I was wondering why the brains controls the entire body. So I had a challenge. I really wanted to know what's going on. That is why I enrolled myself to neuro-linguistic programming in the Academy of USA. I did a postgraduate. So only then I really realized that the mind is a plastic organ where you can train and retrain it. So does your thoughts. I've learned it very well.
Tell me more. Tell me more about neuroplasticity, which you learned in NLP.
Okay, it is actually lots of theories in it, whereby if someone is undergoing depression, emotional depression, we can talk them out to release their heavy luggages. Okay, release their heavy luggages, and they get in tune to life again, in life again. So there's many theories. If I'm going to talk about it, it's going to take time. So we got to learn it and relearn. In life, I just want to say that life is short. Make the best and make the good use out of it. Learn and relearn in life. Be a resilient person in Singapore or in internationally. Keep learning, acquire skills in life. You want to feel the achievement in life. After completing the certification, hey, I've done it. And being disabled like me, after finishing it, every certification, I feel euphoric. I feel okay. Conquered myself. I'm sure it can be done. If I have only partial limbs and people like you all have full limbs, you'll be jumping with rejoicing.
I know, Noel, you'll be having a book launch real soon, right?
Yes.
So why should somebody come to the book launch of Zero to Hero?
Okay, I would actually like to meet up my readers in person and endorse my book. And I would like to actually show them what it's like being a man with titanium in the skull. Like, have you watched the movies? Iron Man? Don't waste your money. It's only the movies. Now you come and see the real life man who has a titanium skull. His is iron, but mine is titanium, so it's a bit of a different material, that's all. So get inspired by the way I speak to you. Buy my book. Every chapter speaks million words, million experience in it. So we can meet personally. I want all of you to feel the impact that I had my experience in life. Even you are feeling down, please attend my book launch.
Very nice. I love it as well. And what are you most proud about in your life so far, Noel?
I've actually lots to be proud on, but okay, I should say that I've authored my own book. I'm a budding inspirational speaker, and I married my wife, who is a gem to me. She is a gem because of her, and I have a beautiful, adorable son. Would like to be a much better dad in this, and not thinking rather than committing suicide, ending my life. I want to live through this life, ride on the rainbow. That is my next phase in life. And ultimate goal is to inspire my readers, the masses who come along with me. That is my ultimate goal, to inspire the masses.
Very nice. And also, what do you do when you are feeling down and demotivated yourself?
I meditate. I meditate aggressively in the mornings, in the evenings, sometimes in the afternoon. Whenever I'm down and out, I do meditation.
Very nice. Tell us more why meditation is useful for anybody who is feeling down and demotivated.
Okay, it is an antidote to relax your mind. When you meditate, you got to concentrate on something else besides your personal issues. You're gonna meditate. If you are I'm not touching religion, but I think I should voice this out. Whether you're a Hindu, whether you're Muslim, whether you're a Christian, it's all the path leading to Changi Airport. These are teachings leading to Changi Airport, the routes to Changi Airport. If you're flying overseas, so I think I get so. In fact, I'm a cradle Catholic, so I do say the Rosary. And that relaxation, that relaxes me. So I meditate often. So sometimes you're, like 0 to hero, you go back to point 0 again. So I got to meditate myself to at least bring myself to the median point, 50. From there, work on again.
And what advice, Noel, would you have for your past self?
Okay, I could have. Actually, I did not see that. I have this gift of inspirating figure. So I would have actually been a much better inspirational speaker or a figure before, a father figure to many who had emotional or disabled problems. I could have been a better friend, a better person to them. So after becoming disabled, I found that I had this gift to inspire others using my disability.
And who is the single most important person that has helped you to succeed?
Okay, can I choose 2 persons in my life? One is my mom, and the other one, of course, is my beloved wife. Right? My mom, because she never gave up on me. She says that, no, he likes this, he likes that. She makes sure. On the feeding tube, my mom used to feed me. I don't know how she did it, but she did. But my wife buys the most. She buys me branded stuff. She knows my birthday. She never fails to come home with birthday cake. So she is a God's gift, and these are the 2 people that I really admire in my life. I'm blessed to have them.
I know, Noel, that you are looking for some help in this journey to be a speaker and an author, right? What kind of help are you looking for in this journey to be a speaker and an author?
All right. I'm actually looking for CSR programs, corporate social responsibility, to come and help me launch my book. And also I'm looking for corporate, like schools, corporate companies, for me to go launch to inspire them using my speech. Inspire to give an inspirational talk. I'm ever ready for that. And also please buy my book when time to come, when it's going to be launched, and get inspired. It's mind-blowing, and I'm sure if you buy a copy, you get inspired. And please come back to me. I'm going to conduct inspirational speaking. I'll do my best to inspire you.
So Noel, if people want to find out more about you, if they want to reach out to you, where can they reach out to you?
Okay, you can reach out to me on Facebook, Noel Peter Xavier. That's the best place for you to reach out to me. Just add me, and I definitely add you all in.
Very nice. And that was Noel Peter Xavier, author, motivational speaker, and of course, the author of the book Zero to Hero, Rising Again from Deaf and Disability. Please buy a copy of the book. I will link you the details of where to get your copy in the show notes as well. And that was episode 44 of the GrowCast Show. And I will see you all real soon in episode 45. It may be me, it may not be me. I hope you all are also enjoying the plethora of guests that I've been having for all of you as well. And we are on episode 44, reaching on episode 50 real soon for the GrowCast Show. And yeah, keep listening, keep watching, and thank you so much for your support. Thank you, Noel, for being here today.
Thank you, Vicky. Thanks for the invite.
Thank you.